They're guys. They do magic. They are the Magic Guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 240 of the Magic Guys. That is insane. We're almost at the 5-year mark. To my left, we've got Nick K.
That's right, I'm Nick K, and down beneath me we have the amazing Doug Kahn.
What's up, everybody?
I didn't realize that. You ever heard that comment? It's like he walked into the room with the confidence of a 9-year-old wearing a Batman t-shirt. That's Doug Kahn today.
Look, there's only a few places you can wear a Ric Flair t-shirt. I figured this podcast is one of them.
I don't know a better place where you could wear one. You know, this is the place. This is definitely. I'm repping an old school Magic Guys t-shirt when we first made one to incorporate Nick.
Man, that's a collectible. Back when Nick had hair.
Yeah. There's nothing funny about that. No. When did you have hair, Nick?
Oh, dude, I actually got rid of my. I knew where I was heading, so I chose to get rid of my hair at very early in my 20s, sort of my early to mid 20s, because I just knew where I was going. And the funny thing is that all my buddies that I went to high school with, they all say to me, after obviously becoming accustomed to my chrome head, they all said, you know what's weird, man? Now in my memories, you're bald. In my high school memories, or in my even my buddies that I because we've been friends since primary school, they'd be like, "You're bald in my memories, in all my memories now," and it's just a little something to think about as magicians, because we can manipulate that.
Yeah, true. When I think back to being a kid, I still think of myself now, I guess, doing the thing.
Why I don't go to high school reunions? I had a mullet.
Wow.
Ooh. I arrived in New Orleans with a ponytail.
Dude, you had achy breaky hair?
I've shown those pictures before on this podcast. I'll refrain from doing so again today. But yeah, if you go down my Facebook photos, down the rabbit hole, you'll see.
Hell yeah. In Australia, Doug, mullets are back in trend. So
of course they are.
Don't be afraid to use that as your next promo.
I'm going to bring it back, but I'm going to have the Hulk Hogan look, where it's just the bottom 9% of my hair grows out, but it'll be long. I'll wear a bandana. You'll never know. I'm going to switch it up from the hats.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, hair or not, friends, thank you for being here. Quick shout out to our friends in the chat. Thomas, good to see you, buddy. We have Scott Link, Tim Askin, Drago Tier. Buddy, good to see you. I was just saying before the show how we have a green room Discord. Where we take photographs and whenever we're in funny looking Discord, and Nick's the best because he just he grades them all. He's like, room's not green, there's only one chair, 2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just Nick's comments alone are hilarious. Yeah. Mike, thank you for being here, guys. We had some pretty heavy chats over the past few weeks with interviews and so forth, and we've spoken about a lot of gigs that were actually awful. And one of the things we sort of gathered is through our chats and conversations in the Discord and obviously in the live chats, there's a lot of kind of fear based around performing. Oh, I'm scared this is going to happen. I'm scared this is going to happen. And it's well, the worst can happen. It's not likely. And it may happen to you. But when it does, you get through it. And on the other side, you're better off for it. And there's something to be learned from it. And that's exactly what the premise of today's episode is. So we put the word out on our socials and our Discord and said, guys, tell us the worst story you've dealt with, right? And as far as I know, Josh, we got quite a response.
We are not short of horror stories at events. You do enough gigs and eventually stuff's going to happen out of our control. And the half of these, and thank you so much. I think we have 8 people sent in messages in time for this podcast. And so what always happens is I listen to half of them, and even the half I've listened to, I'm like, damn, that's unfortunate. And so what better way to feel better about it than, talking about it? And we can, I'm sure there's a way to learn from it ish. And also just to know that if it happens to you, you're not alone. This is not you're not the only one that goes through unfortunate things sometimes.
Exactly. And half the time you're scared to even approach a table. Like if you're scared to approach a table and they say no, that's the worst thing that's going to happen. At least no one's going to die at your gig, which is like what happened to me.
We haven't listened to all the messages yet, so we don't know.
Now, yeah, let's put a disclaimer out there before we move forward. The show is live, and we got a lot of last minute things. We do these things kind of in the morning here in Australia, so we didn't have an opportunity to vet all of them. So if there's any foul language or any sort of very adult themes, we apologize in advance. This is your disclaimer now. How do we start this, Josh?
Look, we're just going to go down the line here. We got Andy Massey sent in the first one. Shout out to Andy if you're in the chat. Might come a bit later. So once again, it's live. I'm going to look to Nick for the volume. This one I haven't listened to. So they're my favorite types. So let's see what Andy's up to.
Hey, Magic guys. This is Andy over here in Kansas City, United States. I had a magic gig last night at a haunted house, and so I was doing magic for people. And my question for you guys is, what have you done to get out of times where you feel like people have caught you? So I just had a cool incident where this guy basically called out that I palmed a card off. My hands happened to kind of like already be crossed and in my armpits, and so he called it out. I just quickly thought, like, I'm just going to leave this card in my armpit. So I pinched it in my armpit, brought my hands out clean, grabbed the deck back from him, and then asked him to shuffle it up one more time just to make sure there was no card on top. And then I put it back. So I felt pretty good about that little juke and jive that I did. So curious if you guys have any fun stories about times where you thought you were going to get caught, but you got your way out of it using your magical wisdom. Thanks, guys.
Dude, I think you just shared a great nugget with the audience. Like palming, pit palming, we might call it, is what a great idea. You can show your hands clean, come back, steal it again. Doug, you had any work on this? Seen people do it?
On that technique, I'm thinking pitch and ditch from Greg Wilson. He's got some stuff under the arm, pitching it. That's not that. That's a different technique, but Greg Wilson has some ideas. As I was listening to the story, reflecting on how we grow as magicians, and when these incidents happen, we get these little pieces of kit now. So now you know what to do when someone pops you with your palm in the card. You got that palm under the arm ditch available. And as we grow and keep growing and work more and perform more, you get more of those outs, as the case might be. So, so Greg Wilson for that technique, and perform as much as you can. You learn more outs.
Yeah, I also like to shout out Dave Williamson, who has a version of this that he teaches in one of his DVD sets, the Ridiculous box set, where he puts cards behind his knee, like in between his thigh and his knee, so when he's sitting, he can palm cards off and just put them there, and in the action of just sort of like wiping his hands down, like on his pants, to be like, oh, my hands are sticky. Like he might do something of that nature, but it's a really nice way to hold out.
Okay, I just did it behind my neck. You could be like, oh man, I got a little. Oh wow! How about that?
Yeah,
I just made up a holdout.
You can even do that to a spectator if they're wearing a suit jacket. In the action of moving them, you can actually put it underneath their suit jacket. Yeah.
Greg Wilson calls it pit stop. Pit stop is the Greg Wilson technique.
Yeah, heck yeah. And I know if you're wearing a vest, you can do the holdout under the vest as well, right? You can palm it, put it underneath the bottom of your vest. It'll stay there too. But like that, Andy, that's like the best get out of I saw you palm something I've ever heard. Like normally people like, quickly try and put it back on the deck. Like, what are you talking about?
You know what I like to do with fun haters? If they say something like that, I'll just go balls out with them. I'll be like, well, did you catch the finger palm, or what about the break? What about the pass? Did you catch that? How about the joke to cover the slight? Did you appreciate that moment? It depends, and it always depends. This is street performing, Doug. If someone's gonna heckle me on the street, like calling my technique out, I'll maybe call them out as a fun hater to kind of like bounce the moment back. And again, it always depends. But if the dynamic is right, that kind of interaction could work for you, maybe.
And Tim's sort of saying, Tim Askin made a comment saying, "Oh, they're kind of fun haters." Now that might be. So what I like to do is, if sometimes people will criticize you or say that you've done something after the fact, and for me, more times than not, they're miles off, and I just kind of stop them and look at them and just go like, "Hang on a second, are you asking me or telling me?" And it's my favorite thing. I go, "Are you asking me how it's done, or are you telling me how it's done?" And if they say, "I'm telling you," I go, "Why are you telling me for? I know how it's done." You're not telling me anything I don't already know. Like, what do you?
I'll say that too. I say I know that, but I don't talk about it. You know.
Yeah, but I think the question of saying why are you telling me works really well, because it's like,
yeah, that's good,
because it makes them go, because I'm a person with a little dick and I have to prove that I know something. It's like, oh, that's what you're doing. Okay, fair enough. And if they say, like, instead of I'm telling you, they go, I'm asking you. I go, I can't tell you. I guess that's just, and I just write it off like that.
The last one of the last times I remember like properly getting caught with someone like that was it was a daytime lunch event, like outside, and I was doing is this group of like tradesmen, and they're like really into the magic, and I'm like, great, a little outspoken. So I go to do card under watch, and I've loaded the card, and then the guy's girlfriend's like, oh, okay, cool. All right, we're watching. Yep. Oh, yep. He's put a card under his watch. Okay. And now he's putting his hands together. I'm like, oh, what? Because she was just on a bad angle, and she just said it. So what I did was not even drawing attention. I went in and restole the card out. And then I instead did card from phone, because I always have that ready to go as a backup in card magic. And I just didn't bring attention to it because she was dead right. She was like, oh, okay, yep, we're watching. Oh, this is going to be great. Oh, yeah, so there's a card under his watch. And like she said it as if like they're meant to know that, as if like he's going to make him guess what the card is or whatever, as if like that's the effect that they all saw that happen. And so I just stole it out. It was so silly. But it worked because people don't know where you're going, and people don't really care anyway. They're just,
What I find interesting is when you do muscle pass and you'll say, the coin falls down. That's the boring bit. Snap the fingers, coin goes up. And they go, I saw that. I'm like, you're fucking supposed to.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Like they think they weren't meant to be able to catch the coin going up.
Yeah. And I say, have you ever seen a coin fall up? No. Well, let me show you. Oh, I saw that. I'm like, what part of this interaction did you not get?
This is where you say what Gutbuster Mike says. Oh, you're pretty clever. You just say that no matter what they say. It's so ambiguous.
Yeah. Or you make it a big deal, like a good big deal to them. Like, oh, you palmed it. Oh, you saw it. High five, man. Oh, yeah, you're so good. Get the fuck out of here. Or, and then you make a follow-up joke.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that.
Sometimes I like to do the whole I go, what? Oh, everyone stop. Bly's got a theory on this. Everyone quiet, because people do want to be seen by nature. It's like one of them 5 things. Yeah. Everyone quiet. Bly's got something to say. What you did, and everyone looks at him like that's the dumbest shit I ever heard, because it's always something dumb when that person speaks, right? And then you just let them speak, and you let them have that moment, and it's like, this is great. No, you know what? Keep these coming, because everyone loves a know-it-all.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Or you get everyone to give them a round of applause. Let's give someone a round of applause.
Yeah. You're like, well done.
Do that every time, and then eventually
want some attention. Let's all clap for Santo, everybody.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you're hearing is our trauma. Okay, we all go through it, but these are things that really do help. You just put a light on the person being funny, and then they realize, okay, you're in control still. Next message is from LJ, our fellow guest of the podcast, friend in Melbourne, friend of the Brisbane Theatre of Magic. He's performed with us as well. LJ, I can't even imagine what we're about to hear.
Hey, Magic guys, it's LJ here from Melbourne. Just wanted to give you a little bit of an insight into the first gig I ever did, which also happens to be the worst gig I've done so far. Mostly because it was me at about 12 years old for my Italian teacher's son's 3rd birthday. I'd say conservatively 30, 40 kids. in one small-ish living room and kitchen area, screaming, running, grabbing my stuff from my case, and it was nuts. Half an hour show that was awful beyond belief. Regardless, I got paid $50 cash for the show, and then the Italian teacher asked me afterwards if I could please fill in for her cousin or something like that, who didn't want to get into the Yoshi the dinosaur outfit and big mascot outfit because it was too hot, and thought that I would be a good person for that. As a 12-year-old, I then proceeded to, on a 31-degree day, dance around with the kids, and my handler, who was meant to look after me, proceeded to chat up another one of the cousins and not look after me, and I almost went to the hospital with heat stroke. So yeah, good gig.
That's the problem with Italians. They keep hitting on their cousins.
Look, I've been in a costume or two in some pretty hot weather once or twice.
Right.
I can relate to that. Hey, you got to pay the bills and you want to keep the clients happy, but this is where you get inspiration to get gooder as fast as you can, so you don't have to do that too much. Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
I think that this is where you kind of have that old ethos where if life's not a lesson, it's a test. And he had a very big lesson, and also was tested that, like, you can't exist inside of a thing for 31-degree days, which I don't know what the Fahrenheit is of that. It'd be like 80, 90 degrees thereabouts.
My first gig was I did amusement park atmosphere performing, pretty big amusement park, and they had costume characters. And once or twice I got in one of those things just to have that experience, and it is horrible. Even with a well-maintained team, a handler that doesn't abandon you, and you've only got a couple kids. I can't imagine being in one like where the train's off the tracks and you're not used to it.
I did Santa once for my sister. She was like, we just need someone to dress as Santa. It's part of, like, I don't know, I think she was doing like what you call childcare type stuff. And it was all girls that work in there. We're like, we need a guy to come, just put on the suit and come be Santa Claus. And I was like, look, I'll do it, no problem. So I do that. They give me the costume, I put it on, and I walk out. And it was hilarious because the kids lose their mind. It was like, I imagine that's like what the Beatles would have felt like. Like, you walk out on stage, like, Santa's here, oh my God. And the kids are just losing their minds, crying. Like, I'm like, this is probably what it means to be a Beatle.
Fun fact, kindred spirit Scott Link worked that amusement park at the same time I did. He was in the magic shop at Carowinds Amusement Park in Charlotte, North Carolina. I bet you've been in a costume or two in your day, huh, Scott? Good times.
Well,
going back about 30. How old am I?
I've had to perform. I've had to perform, like, in costume, like perform as a genie, for example, or perform as a whatever.
Yeah,
I've done that. Yeah.
That can be challenging too, right? Because you're in a new character that you haven't developed, and you're trying to interact in a unique persona. Now, granted, you two are superstars, probably segue into that, pretty naturally. But if you haven't done it before, like, tough.
Oh, stop it.
Oh.
Well, my costume days, when I was 19, I got casted to be on a TV show, a Disney show called Canine. I'm sure I've talked about this before. This is during the phase of me really starting to learn magic, but not doing it in any performing capacity. People can look it up too, Canine. I had to be this RoboCop, but it's like a very funny looking RoboCop. But we basically had to wear like a motorbike helmet and complete leather in Australia and shoot all these outdoor scenes all the time. And I just remember how much sweat would get built up in the inside pads of this helmet. And you're just like, this is not good. But you do it for the money. And, it was wonderful at the time. And being a 19-year-old on a TV set and having 6 hours a day to practice sleight of hand because you're not doing anything is, like, honestly,
best time ever.
100%. There's a if anyone is deep diving and looking into this show, Canine, it aired in like every English speaking country, but there's an episode called Birdie, and Birdie was a character of this robot that was malfunctioning, and that was me. So you can watch.
Dylan,
so you'll know
Dylan,
you can
please find footage of this and put it on.
Hell yeah!
Please
put it in your show reel.
I should. Yeah, I can be like, that's me. But I've got the IMDb credit and everything, so it counts, you know. All right, next one is from Thomas. Now he sent in 2, but I'm just hoping this is the story. This first one. Let's see how we go. Thomas, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, cool guys? Message from France. One of the most terrible, cringy story I've ever experienced was with a card stab. I was using a knife, and I did a gag where I asked a spectator to put their hand in the envelope, and then I pretend to stab the pack who was supposed to be under the envelope with the knife that's supposed to be over the envelope. And I pretend to stab a few times, and I test their reflexes, and then I ask the spectator to, and I put the knife on the envelope, and I ask the woman, is your finger underneath? It's not underneath. And she said, no, it's not underneath. And then I press, and she screamed, and she couldn't get over it for like 90 minutes. And she was like, he stabbed me on the finger. She had no trace, but she couldn't get over it. And I was like, I asked you very clearly, is your finger underneath? And she was like, but I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a fake knife. I said, why in the world would you think it was a fake knife? Why would you think that? And then she moaned and cried for hours. It was terrible. I felt terrible.
Holy crap.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's about as bad as it gets.
Oh, man. Okay, now I really want to hear his follow-up message, because I feel like that was crazy.
Part 2. Right. Is there a part 2? Is that what we got?
Let's have a look. I think there's a part 2.
All right, I got another one for you.
Oh my
God, there's another one.
When I do the sponge bunnies, okay, don't judge me. I sometimes do the sponge bunnies. I ask the kid, I say, do you know this trick where you put a lady in a box and you cut her in half? And the punchline is, we're not going to do that, but we're going to cut the bunny in half. But since it's a magic bunny, it makes 2 bunnies. But I asked this little girl at a parlor show, okay? So there are 30 people. And I want to get cute, so I asked the little girl, hey, do you know this trick where you put a little girl inside a box and you cut her in half? And she starts bawling for 10 minutes. Impossible to stop. She cried for like half an hour. Horrible.
What? Oh, dude. What trauma has she gone through that's just made her cry at you asking that question?
Some kids can be like that. I once did a thing at my residency. It was like a 10-year-old birthday party, and I do Lucky Ladybug for the birthday girl to give her a little something special and make her the star of the show. And I did that for like, I spent some time with her, did that for her, and everyone else lost it and started crying because I wasn't giving them attention. Like that's how it went down. Like their parents.
I have a hypothesis that the child saw a magician stab her mother with a knife, and so now she's terrified of all magicians.
I think that's it. Yeah, that was the mother in the first story.
How do you recover from that, other than sending them like a bunch of flowers, some chocolates, and some Band-Aids? That's what I would do.
Man, you can't stab a spectator.
You can. Have you seen the newsreel? There was a guy who put a newscaster's hand right through the spike, like jammed her right into it, live on television.
He has the best hair as well. It's amazing.
I would say this, that we have to be as careful as possible, because that is the frame of mind that our audience is in, that they think that we wouldn't put them in danger. We shouldn't put them in danger.
Alex is putting a comment, this could be like the new Kill Bill movie, and the plot is girl gets revenge on magician that sawed her mom in half.
I mean, in the United States, I don't know how things go down in France, but it's like, oh, thanks for stabbing me, because now you have a lawsuit, and I have your house. You know, that's what it would be here.
Americans are massive on lawsuits, eh? Is that still the case?
I hope so. It's my only hope for having great wealth in this country is to trip and fall somewhere.
Dude, there's billboards of just like, hey, did you hurt yourself doing existing?
It's
Let me see
literally
if I can shoot
ridiculous.
someone for you. There's literal billboards on that whenever we
Yeah,
land
no,
in
there's
Vegas.
professionals. We have pros to just do that.
That's crazy.
Did you get a splinter playing on a playground? Let's sue the council. Like,
yeah.
Hey, can I give my work a plug briefly? And I did. Can I do that? Of course I can. Do it over. So this is if you're enjoying these stories, look what I brought home from Trick Supply to do a little homework. This is Abraca, damn it. This is disaster stories and life lessons from the world's top magicians.
wow.
Fortuitously, this book fell off the bookshelf, and I thought maybe I did so that some of you would know about it. Who's in here? Scott Alexander, Jeff Hobson, Josh J, Mac King section's wonderful. Jeff McBride, Oz Perlman is in this book, Rob Zabrecki. And if we need extra time, I could talk about this book more, but you could go to Trick Supply and learn more about it. This has been a semi-plug and a public service announcement. If you're enjoying tonight's stream, abracadabra, make a nice, little book to put in your third room or on an airplane or something like that.
Did I say Ben Zabin? Who wrote that?
Yeah, Ben Zabin, and it's a great read. It's kind of inspirational, and the disaster stories are only about a third of each volume, so all of the magicians have something positive to say. Really good information in here.
That's an interesting read. I'd get around that.
Yeah, there we go. I was putting the book up on the shelf, and this went like this in my hand, and I was like, "Oh, this is our subject this week." Literally, just one of those weird things that happens. So, also, I'm enjoying reading it. Maybe you will too.
Yeah. And from last week, Doug, did you notice any Mylar card sales?
Let's shout out to Seth Howard. He bought some of the Mylar cards to use in an upcoming. He said he has a gift exchange gig. So it's a Christmas gift exchange, and or an ornament exchange, and he was looking for an opener. Yo, Seth, thanks for the purchase. And look at us making money for Trick Supply. $8 at a time.
That's epic. All right, our next big pipe comes from Timothy. Timothy with a little fancy E. So he's already above my pay wage. But Timothy, let's see what story you have for us today. I wonder where he's from. Maybe France.
It wasn't my worst gig ever, but it was the first I had in my life. I was 16. I only knew magic for 2 years. I only knew magic trick with cards, and I was very shy at the time. But someone of my family said, "Oh, you could do some magic for a dinner and go on all the tables." I said, well, "Yeah, why not?" So I went with it, and I did magic. The people were quite drunk. On the second group I went to see with the table, I was putting my deck of cards on the table and speaking a little bit, and someone picked the glass of wine he had in his hand and threw it all over the table on my cards and said, "Hey, magician, can you fix it?" And he went laughing, and then everyone in the tables around him just laughed out loud. So I didn't know what to say. It was humiliating, and I just picked my deck of cards that was just wet and destroyed, went on my the place where I had my cards. I picked a new deck of cards, and I didn't say anything. I didn't know how to react. It was my first gig.
Your first gig, and you already had a second deck ready. That's a professional right there.
Well, yeah, anything that can happen will. And geez, that is also like the most French insult, like, for a magician as well.
Shit. That's a pretty brazen moment. Like, I would take that personal almost. Although it depends again. Where are you? You got to stay professional about it. But man,
I would give it to him. I would put the cards in the wine glass and give it to him as a gift, and now I gift this to you, and I'll get myself a fresh deck and end the interaction right there, and just walk away, like with as little words as possible.
Yeah, I might give him the woo, a little bit of this, and the leg off the top.
Put him in a chokehold and body slam him through the table.
That sucks.
Well, I think he handled it great is the first thing. And yeah, look, some people behave like that, and we can't be responsible for everyone's behavior. But I think that I'll give him an applause on that one. I think that was handled perfectly. Well done. It's a good lesson.
Well done, man.
Yeah.
Always bring an extra deck.
You could have just gone, oh, that's fine. Let me get you another glass of wine, and then dip your dick in the wine and say, drink up.
Yeah, that it is going to happen where maybe not that, because that was super intentional, but people just shuffle and the cards will explode and go everywhere and the floor's disgusting, so you can't recover, or they will, or the stupidest one is where you give them the deck to shuffle and they're like, okay, and they sit it on their wet table and they go to freaking casino shuffle them and the cards are dead.
Yeah.
And but that's the lesson. Have a second deck of cards. You just got it. Well handled. And thank you for the voice message. It's great to hear your accent too. That made the story even more fun. Keep them coming. Our next one, this came in just like half an hour before the pod. A friend on Instagram, but also he competed in FISM, international touring magician from Norway, performed at the castle. It's Rune Carlson, everyone. Rune has sent in a message, and thank you for doing that, Rune. And
cool.
We're going to listen to your message. I can't wait to hear this story.
So my name is Rune Carlsen. I'm a professional magician from Norway. And at one of my corporate gigs many years ago, everything was going just perfect. The audience was on fire, laughing, clapping, totally engaged. The feedback was incredible, and my closure that night was Bill in Lemon, a routine that slowly builds suspense as the audience begins to realize the impossible ending they're about to witness. I was in the zone, really milking the moment. The timing was perfect, the reactions were huge. I took out the lemon, I handed it to someone to cut it open, and as I slowly opened it to reveal the big finale, there was nothing inside. So for a few seconds, my world just collapsed and stopped. Thousands of thoughts raced through my head. My heart was pounding, my face was sweating, pure panic. What happened? I mean, where was the bill? Did I really just mess it up for the first time? But as we all know, experience kicks in when we need it the most. Having performed that effect probably thousands of times, I somehow managed to land it. I improvised, I kept in control, and in the end, I'm pretty sure the audience never even noticed it. I think, or I at least hope. Still, I've never been that stressed in my entire career, and hopefully I'll never experience that again. Anyway, it's a fun story.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a fun story. Have you guys ever opened a lemon and not had the reveal inside?
First show back from the pandemic. I'm doing a street show, my first street show back outside after being locked up for a year. I go to retrieve the card in the wallet, which is my finale for the multiple selection, and realize that I forgot to palm the card into the wallet, but I thought I had for some reason. I go in there, and as I'm opening the wallet, I'm like, there's nothing in here. And I build it up. There's money in the wallet. It's a hat pitch for me. And it's like, and nothing's inside. Holy cow, that's awkward. Relatable. Not as relatable as Bill and the Lemon, though. Oh, man. That's a definitely dramatic moment.
Nick, remember when we had, remember the story Brennan Dooley has? I mean, he has said it on the podcast as well, but he does Bill to Crunchy. And he had hit his head earlier that day, like it was bleeding from his forehead. And from all of that small concussion and just trying to get ready for the show and not bleed, he didn't do what he needed to do. And on stage, when they snapped that Crunchy, there's nothing inside. And he's like, nada. Shit. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm waiting for the day where I forget to, or I grab the wrong drink or something, and I do my reveal of the inside being different. And I'm waiting for the day where I forget to do that, and it's like I pour out V from a V can.
Nick is asking, how did he land that plane? I had Chris Randall in the shop a week or two ago. He's an award-winning magician, a professional in Las Vegas. He created the Inception routine, which a lot of performers use. It's commercially available. And he mentioned a story actually where that happened to him once. And I guess his method is a secret load in the bag where he had missed the load somehow. So as he's opening the lemon and there's nothing there, he said what he did is simply pretend that there was something there. Just act like it was in there and keep portraying the moment and believe it himself. And then as he put the other piece of the lemon away, he secretly acquired the bill and then pretended to reveal it from within. So that's an avenue and a story that I was just recently told, a similar story. And leave it to a street performer to figure out everything that can happen in a trick. But that's the answer. You can just pretend it's in there and go from there.
That's genius. I mean, yeah, if you were just openly bold, like it worked,
it's just bring it home. I mean, you got if there's no other bill around, now you have problems.
Didn't a Dove act do that many years ago where it wasn't loaded on him or something, and then he just pretended like they were there? He just acted as if they were and just did the whole routine that way.
I've heard that story, right?
I can't remember who. Yeah, I heard a story of that nature. I don't recall who it was, though.
Like maybe the birds didn't make it to the show.
I don't know.
Yeah.
How would you not know that this bird's not on your person? Like, that is a fascinating.
Man, speaking of birds, tomorrow I'm going to the All Stars of Magic review. Planet Hollywood. Ooh. Jason Byrne headlining this. I'm pretty sure he does his bird act in there. Mondre's in the show. Joseph Gabriel is in the lineup this week. Wow. Can't wait. Emily England's in the show. That's me tomorrow. Let's go.
Say hi to
I'm
Jason
hoping I can see 3 bird acts. How spectacular would that be?
Damn. We never see them in Australia anymore.
No, if it wasn't for Dan Sperry touring with the Illusionists, probably no one would have ever seen one exist. There's only 2 other people I can think of. There's Jonas. What's his surname?
Jonas Yost.
Yep. He's got a beautiful act. And I guess Elio Simonetti, he has a dove act as well. And that would be it. I mean, Anthony DeMasi has one, but it's from props. It's not like a dove act. Like, he'll produce it from things.
Have y'all seen Jason Byrne's act? You seen what he does with birds?
No.
Oh my! And Mondre, he is one of my favorite Las Vegas performers for sure. He's got just a killer act. He uses cats in his act, of all things.
What?
Cats,
right? I can see why you
like
imagine?
it. Yeah, of course I like it. But
how is that not how is that not the most viral video on social media? If it's like
not out there, I don't know.
Wow,
I don't know. Maybe I'll film it tomorrow and make him a viral sensation.
It would take over the planet. Like,
can you imagine?
Yeah,
putting a cat in a magic act. Talking about things that can go wrong. I bet he's got a story or 3.
You know, you see some of these acts. I don't know, where this happens, but I've seen these cats do amazing acts. They run around the stage and they're climbing up and down on things. They jump through hoops and stuff. And I'm like, who says you can't train a cat?
Well, not Mondre.
Well, you can train tigers, right? Lions and tigers. I mean, Siegfried and Roy did it. It must be a little easier training a feline cat as opposed to something that's, got the power.
You can do it. There's cat shows. I'd love to see one. There is an animal show in town I'm actually looking forward to. I think it's in the same complex. So I don't know. I intend to see a lot of shows this week. Probably going to see Penn and Teller again. Got the mother-in-law coming in town tomorrow. So we're going to run around like tourists for the next week. So,
that sounds fun.
I miss
what Teller. A cool thing when you have people come to visit. You're in Vegas. So it's you got to be the most fun family member to come and visit. That's cool. Next voice message is from a friend of ours called Eric. Let's see what he's got here. Just a first name, Eric.
He must be a mime. I love this app.
Let's try again. Maybe he's doing it like it's categories.
I
He's
just
like,
realized
one time at
it's
the
been muted this whole time.
For men.
Okay. This whole time, I thought you guys were being rude and talking over the message because I can hear it. So I'm like,
Mordito hit his head before the podcast.
I will remind. We will remind you. We do this live. We do this live
on Spotify. Yeah, they won't hear it because it would have cut out that dead time anyway. All right, I'm going to play Eric's message again. Here we go.
Hi guys, I'm Eric. I'm currently a magician in college, and I study mechanical engineering at the University of Illinois. And one of my worst stories was when I was performing for the university at a show. I was doing Wes Iseli's Flipped, with the same one that he did on Penn and Teller, and the person in my prediction in the middle of the show just stood up and left. So it was super awkward because I couldn't say anything as they were leaving, and I was just watching them, and as my heart just sank. I ended up picking a random winner and then doing a pickpocket routine with them, but it was definitely one of my worst moments in a performance. So yeah, that's my story. And also, I do have a question too. I'm the president of the Magic Society at my school, and I was wondering if any of you guys would be willing to meet with us, whether over Zoom or if you're nearby in person, and be like a guest speaker or something for our meetings. That would be really wonderful because we do have a couple magicians here who would love to meet you guys and talk to you guys. So yeah.
We sneaking in the sneaky ask at the end of the voice message. I like it. Look, $1,000, Eric, and anything's possible. All right, man.
I'm done doing public performances. Sorry, you're daily. I'm wrapping this shtick up.
But look, Eric,
we can do a little lecture. Okay, well, we can do the little online lecture or something of that nature. I've done that for clubs over whatever. So yes, just reach out to us through our socials, and we'll do something to add a little value to your club, buddy. It's all part of the community.
Did you just throw the buddy like the all right, little buddy, like
I'm trying to create a community here through the podcast. This is a good community where we take care of each other and we help each other. When someone says help, you say, when I can.
Hell yeah. Just it sounded like you threw out a little power move there. Yeah, we'll help your little university. Eric, reach out, man. Always happy to Zoom. Nick has a sick lecture, which he just said he's happy to donate all his time and send all the props for everyone to take part in it. That's awesome. So kind of you, Nick. But the story, so for people who don't know Flipped, it's the coin, right? It's the heads and tails with the whole audience, and everyone's guessing either heads or tails. They're sitting down as you're flipping it, and you've predicted the last person, like what they're wearing and everything. And to see that person walk out mid-routine, that's got to put the sweats on. Like,
that's pretty upsetting.
Here's
a silly idea. Like if the revelation were in something as simple as an envelope, would it make sense to have like a two-way envelope, and then that way you have a kind of redundancy where you've got two possibilities, so you just a little something to save you, perhaps?
Mark Brown said it in the chat. Always have a backup prediction for that trick. I learned that the hard way as well. So have
this is a thing.
Second one ready to go.
So it is a thing that can come up more often than you might think. Or because I've also heard this. I've also heard that sometimes the person playing will just sit down because they just don't want to have any attention. Like it's getting close to them being some of the last in the running, and they'll just sit down.
Yeah.
So that can be true as well. So yeah, that's got to be the answer. Hey, have an extra prediction out. The other thing that, like in my head, what I might have tried is if it's just that one person starting to walk out, you could be like, "Hey, you, are you leaving? Did I tell you to leave? Did we set this up in any way? No? Well, look at this. I predicted that the person that was leaving would be wearing a red blah, blah, blah." And I would just miscall like the title of what this prediction is and then just call out everything he's wearing. Like maybe that's because that actually is quite a miracle too. Like how did he know that he would decide to leave mid routine? You know, that could be kind of funny. But otherwise, like I think you handled it pretty well. Like just don't draw attention, because that's the other powerful thing we have here is that people don't know what the effect is. So if you just whittle it down to one person winning and that person now just gets to come up for an effect, then that's the dream. Or like Scotty says, just put him in
the lemon.
Makes no sense, but is funny.
Get in the lemon. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a tough place to be. And you know, it's a really good thought. Like, so one example, 2 outs, but how do you even get 2 outs? You'd have to just pivot the whole routine safely, right?
Yeah. I think, yeah, you just got to, eh? I think, Eric, I think you handled it pretty well, it sounds like. Because I too would be kind of freaking out, like, damn it, what am I going to do here? Kind of thing.
You should have some resolution that doesn't depend on that exact situation. So, I don't know what it is, and maybe it's not even a finale to an effect, but at the end of it, you could say, and that's how we demonstrate how random things can be. And now you're the last one standing. If you could just name any card, oh, how interesting! It's the only card upside down in my deck.
What if you are using the flip to have an outcome where you can go into that one person and maybe you want to force an outcome of, let's say you said, like, we're going to describe the perfect woman or something. And you could say, like, okay, so I like redheads. What do you like? This, boom. And you can just, and then you can have that outcome forced with that one person. You still got the same outcome, but it's not. It's there in the same vein. It's going to be very long, lots of flipping, though. That's the problem.
Yeah. Tricky stuff, but it's better than stabbing your spectator. So
yeah, don't stab your spectators. I know you wanna, but don't.
Alex Lamb, we know he's in the chat and he's also in our speak pipes today. I know this story already, and I got to hear it in real time when it had actually happened, but I got him to tell the story here too. It's kind of funny. For anyone who's like, because Alex has been doing magic for a long time as a hobby, because he has his own full-time career. And this year I've really seen him gun into really making an effort to do private gigs. And this happened, a few months into really trying to give it a go.
So what I think happened is...
Oh, that's the end. Let me give you the start.
In the middle there.
Hey guys, I'm going to try to keep this short. Just for context, Star Casino, Steakhouse, private function room, and they're paying quite a bit for not a lot of time, so I'm trying to bring my A game. I do my opener, nothing. It's like this long rectangular table, probably like 20 people. I do my opener at the head of the table, nothing. I'm going around the table as the night goes on, nothing. They're being really polite. They're saying, wow, that was pretty good. Hey, you're good. But like no laughs, no energy, nothing. And so I'm just like, oh my God, this sucks. So I'm packing up. My time's up. The lady who hired me is like, look, that's just how they are. The fact that you got that much out of them, that's your win. I was like, okay, cool. So I'm in the cab home. I text her. I was like, hey, if you could leave me a review, that'd be really great. And here's the link. She calls me back. Alex, you have my husband's phone. And sure enough, my close-up bag starts buzzing, and I was mortified. I was like panicky sweats. So I turn around, and I'm walking into the casino, and I'm just like, how am I going to play this? Because, I might get punched in the face. So I walk back into their room. The only thing I could think of to do, I hold up their phone, and I say, ta-da! They erupt in laughter. The biggest reactions I got all night, by far. And I was just kind of like, I guess that's where I'm going to get my laugh. So what did I learn? Number 1, take your wins where you can get them. You know, I don't believe in making a fool of yourself all the time just to get a laugh, but sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. 2, you can't win them all. We've all been somewhere where we're trying to win over somebody stubborn or a cynic, and it's just not worth it. So move on to someone who actually wants to see you. And 3, know what goes back in your close-up bag before you leave. That's what I learned. Cheers, guys.
Great lesson.
Yeah. Wow, what a roller coaster. You're not getting any attention, and then you leave, and somehow you got the client's husband's phone, and then you're like, oh, what the hell? And that's the funny thing they like. And damn. I mean, talking about like, you know, being accused of doing a thing, like, you know, we've had a few friends on now that have mentioned ring stories, right? Like where they've done ring flight and then they've accused them of not giving their real ring back. And like, we're almost out of time, but we had a friend message in saying that all they did was ask to borrow a ring from someone. And then someone said, oh my God, where is my ring? And made it a whole big deal and like threatened this magician, like hadn't even been near the guy. These rings are, and now phones too. Oh my God, where's my phone? But he actually did take it. So Alex, you actually did. And they could sue you and they could own the whole school that you work at. But fortunately, you're not in the US. So that's a good lesson. Have you ever, I mean, and like I'm sure people have pickpocketed and just forgotten to give the watch back, right? Like Nick, do you have a story like that? I think we know someone, right? That's done.
I've had criticisms and people are like, I've vanished their phone and then it appears in my wallet. Is in effect, but then I've had people come back at me saying that I scam money from them, and I was like, well, prove it, because the venue that I work at won't employ me until you do that. And all they said was that we're going to file a police report, and I'm like, well, where's the police report? And just the threat was enough to take me out of work for 3 weeks. That cost me thousands of dollars. So then I had my lawyer email them directly, and I was like, I want their details. These people are fucking with my livelihood. And I went for them, and they shat themselves. Which is, in my opinion, the right thing to do, because like you can make claims that you're gonna Karen, but if you're not gonna, like, yeah.
So wait a minute. I don't have to rely on trip and falls. I can go for slanders too, right?
Well,
if I get a bad review, I could call my lawyer.
Yeah, or Doug, you go to a hypnosis show, because you can then blame something bad you do on the fact that you're hypnotized. I was talking to a hypnotist, and I won't mention names because you're not meant to do this, but on cruises, entertainers aren't, the like number one rule is performers can't sleep with the guests on the cruise. But back when this guy was young, that's just what everyone did. They just didn't talk about it, I guess. And he had this woman like just pleading with him, like, please let me sleep with you. What a problem. So he's like, all right. So they have a nice night. Second night rolls around. She does it again. Please let me, stay in your room. And he's like, no. Anyway, she kicks up a fuss, and she now complains to security that he hypnotized me to sleep with him.
So, I mean,
he had to then be detained in the cruise ship area, wherever that is. Police come on board.
Oh, my.
They go to interview the woman, and as soon as they hear her say, he hypnotized me to sleep with him, they just lost their shit laughing. They're like, what are you talking about? You can't tell me that he may, ooh. Like, it was so funny. They like fully made fun of her because she didn't. She like had just, been annoyed that she didn't get that second night.
Narcissists, man. Like they will manipulate, and they will say the worst things to get what they want.
So that's crazy. So you could do that, Doug, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, noted. I'm making notes. I've got options now. My financial future's looking bright.
Yeah. Anyway, look, that was awesome. Something I want to try and keep doing too, guys. Thank you for sending in your speak pipes. It's always fun to hear from you guys, even if we only play one an episode or something like that. If you're listening to this, send a speak pipe in just to introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about maybe something you're working on at the moment or doing recently, or a thought you have. Because what I'd like to be able to do is start every episode by like hearing from one of our friends listening to the pod.
Cool.
So feel free to send a bunch in so we have them loaded up. The next couple of weeks, we have some guests coming on, so that's going to be super exciting. But we always want to hear from you, because that's what makes this fun, what keeps it alive, you know?
Yeah.
But so we're coming towards the end. So Doug, you are going to be off in host. You're going to be a host for the next week or so.
Yeah,
right?
but
You're
like
gonna
you
be a
told me,
Vegas
Eric
host.
Uhas is if Eric Uhas is the guest next Monday, I might be a rude host and jump in here. So I
Yeah.
may or may not be here next week, but I'd love also to be enjoying family time and being a good husband and a good son-in-law. So but I missed Eric's first visit, and I love his book so much. I don't want to miss another one. So
Yeah.
Sweet.
we'll see.
We're talking about the practice playbook, guys. I am about 3/4 of the way through it. I intend on finishing it by the time we have the interview. I've got to say that I think this is like one of the top 5 books that every beginner magician must have. I think it's awesome.
It's important.
It's like so good. It's so good. And it's all about how to rehearse and how to practice and how to structure. I think, like, if I had to say top 2 books, it would be Maximum Entertainment and this.
Yeah.
Like, it's unreal, guys. I've just finished last night. Read a few chapters. Andy Glanwood and Joshua Jay's ones were back to back, and Joshua Jay's one is so good. Like, it's so good.
Let me say that this book is not dissimilar. I mean, it focuses on disaster stories in some respect, but here we have 20-ish magicians with very inspirational talks about how they developed and advice. And I'm not trying to plug products, but if you have Eric's book and like it and want something else in the ballpark for $20, you can get that too. So
I'll be grabbing that next time I pass through. That's for sure. Because I love these compilation books. Like, there's nothing but there's no waffle. It's like, it's people's individual stories, and it's just straight up gold spat into a book. And that'll be a quick read on the flight home. So
yeah, it's like that.
Well, how about we do this,
Anyway.
Doug? Could we, for the final word, could you read one of the stories? Give us one of the stories from the book, maybe. Can we do that?
Do you want a minute to think of one? Because I have a story if we want to kill 2 minutes while you find one.
I'll tell you, like Zabreckis is a good one.
Hell yeah!
I'll talk about Rob's story.
Let me lead you in. Here we go with the final word.
All right, so here we are. We're doing life lessons from Abraca, and one of my favorite performers of the current active pros, Rob Zabrecki, has a great story in here about where he accepted a gig to perform for a bunch of pilots who were expecting, among other things, dancing girls at their company party, and just how rough of an audience it was. Zero response, literally zero, like looking at you like, why are you even here? They're anticipating the girls to come into the room. And just a nightmare. And you can imagine. So Rob's advice is this: just, know who you are, know what you do, and just know when to say no. But say yes to the Magic Guys every Monday or Tuesday if you're in Australia. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening. It's time for us to disappear now. But we'll see you again on the next episode of The Magic Guys.